Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Courtside Fracas. Joined with a panel made up of some new people, some old people, and some old people act like new people. So I'm going to start going around and I introduce one of our new guys, Kay. Canyon, how you doing, mate?
I'm good, man. You know, happy Laker fan.
Yeah, you jumped the bullet because normally what we do the first time you come on is we ask who do you support?
Oh, my bad.
And why? So now it's fine. You're already fitting in perfectly. So you're a Lakers fan.
I plays basketball, just jacking shots off from the rip, bro.
Hey, you know the vibes. Hey, listen, 39% shooters remembered in the streets, man. No one forgets them efficient guys.
Is that Dion Waiters flex, isn't it? It's like, listen, I'm not going to stop shooting if I'm 0 for 9 because that means I ran out of confidence. I respect
shoot.
I respect it. Shoot, man.
Who the streets going to remember?
Apart from
Tim Duncan or Allen Iverson.
Don't get me started on TD, man. Harold will tell you. Yeah. So you're a Lakers fan. How long have you been a Lakers fan? Why are you a Lakers fan? Give us a quick run through.
Well, originally when I first started playing ball, I think I was like 6, 7. But my mum bought me an Orlando Magic ball, but I didn't like the colors. So from there, I think I saw Kobe. I think it was like 98 or so, and I just saw, I like the yellow. And then obviously Shaq went from Orlando to the Lakers. I was like, yeah. These guys are cool. I like the purple and gold. I'm just going to rock with it from there. Like, I didn't know anything about the history. I just said, oof, this is my favorite color from there. And I'm going to go from there and kind of learn more about the team. And then they've been stuck with me since.
It's bare chips, innit? Just bare winning. That's all you really know, apart from these last 10 years, though.
Hey, let's not talk about that because
all right, cool.
We've come from a dark place.
Harold, our other Lakers fan, by way of LeBron. So, like I always say, if he decided to become a Minnesota Timberwolf, you would also become a Minnesota Timberwolf. But how are you feeling? Gentleman sweep for them boys over in Denver.
Yeah, you know, people doubted us, man. You know, we came into this playoffs. People telling me like Kawhi was the best player in the league, man. I said, what, man?
No, insufferable, man.
I said, what?
Oh, wow.
On a serious note, bro, I'm feeling good, man. Like, I'm feeling good. Back in the big time. Listen, the last, 10, 11 finals? LeBron's been in he's only missed out on 1. Like, are you crazy? Are you actually crazy?
How many ones, though?
Don't worry about that, Steele. Don't worry about
how many do you want, though? We'll get onto that, though.
Don't worry about that. No, don't worry about that.
I'll say 3-6 Mafia. Say 3-6.
Don't worry. 4-6 comes to you.
What happened was
from the other side of LA. It's been. We ain't seen you for a minute, to be honest.
You rock with Clippers, Janine?
Yeah, several reasons. I'm assuming why you've been busy. But it's good to see you, Janine. How did it feel when LeBron hit that deep 3?
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna be a hater today because I'm not a LeBron hater. I'm just a Lakers hater. So you know, yeah. So for LeBron to make that, do you know what? Yeah, they deserve that win. So it is what it is, and I'm not gonna be here to hate apart from whatever Harold says that's to do with the Lakers. But he's not. He's just gonna chat about LeBron this whole entire time. I'm just gonna be here.
No, hey, Janine,
is that the only teammate? That's the only player you know.
Hey, Janine, relax. Listen.
Take time. And last but not least, Disu obviously has got the background. Russ, we haven't actually seen you since Houston went out. How you been, brother?
Boy, you have to put it like that, Kurt. I can't lie. Hey, the way Rockets was getting flogged, I had to take a sabbatical for basketball. I don't want to hear it.
Did you remember, coming into that series? Hey, Rockets, small ball. Listen, man, defense, free.
No, but to be fair, in the group chat, I did. Was it? No, it might have been me and Cameron got another group chat, and I said I think the Lakers will win in 5 or 6 because I just didn't see the Rockets beating. They said the Rockets have the tools to beat the Lakers, but they're just I don't trust them.
I don't blame you, to be honest.
They're just getting flogged left, right, center. But man, I had to take a sabbatical from basketball because it was quite depressing. Watching my boy play with COVID on one leg, just getting these shots swatted left, right, center by LeBron, like it was just demoralizing. So I was like, let me take a break from basketball.
We go again. What's this? Year 13. Search for the chip. Yeah.
I know. We go again next year. I saw a rumor of Westbrook getting traded to the Lakers. I was like, boy, no take that.
Please no. Whoa. There's not enough ball to go around.
Bro, we'll just stand there, full dunks a game. Alley-oops. Just give us alley-oops. Alley-oops. Let us run the second unit. You get me? Calm.
Calm. Okay, so we've introduced the regular usual suspects. Let's get into the game. So, Harold, K, Game 5. The Lakers have brought it home against the Denver Nuggets. You beat them 117 to 107. Let's get your thoughts. Obviously, I'll let you guys talk. As long as you remain honorable, I won't jump in to let you know what was really going on. But yeah,
I'm gonna have to stop you right there. There will be no honor going on whatsoever. There will be no honor going on whatsoever in this analysis. 100%. Listen, we'll be 100% shameless. Jamal Murray, come again.
You know what? Yeah. I'll give Jamal Murray obviously all the props.
Wait, hold on. Are you flexing on Jamal Murray? Is he even?
We can't.
I mean,
he's still in his rookie contract, and Harold's
not.
He's
no, he's not.
He's got 170 M's.
No,
he's got that superstar contract.
That's where the money starts next year, though.
But it's his though.
Alright, cool.
It's
I like
it. It's his.
Yeah.
Go on, Kate. You go first.
You know what? Yeah. Obviously, I have my problems with Lakers, but we won. But at the same time, I think the game was close and a lot closer than I thought it would be. And to be fair, I think Murray not being his full self and Jokic having a bit of foul trouble probably played in our favor as well.
Definitely.
And well and truly, you can't be coming back from 3-1 every series. Like, it's not possible. Like, I don't care how good you are. Like, it's just not possible. And we're hitting our open shots, weirdly enough. And my whole problem with the Lakers was our role players are just not good.
Yeah. They're
not good.
I genuinely think we have some of the worst role players I've ever seen. Listen, like I always, I know we have a platform here, and I'm aware of how far we go. I'm always very, very cautious about the things I say about Danny Green. But listen, he's trending every night when the Lakers play, guys, and it's not for any good reasons. He trends within the first 2 minutes of playing.
He actually did okay yesterday, though. He made some good defensive plays.
He's shooting like what? 31% this whole series.
Yeah, he's bad. He is bad. But
Danny Bricks, no three, no D.
Yesterday he was okay. Give him some credit. He made some good defensive plays and he knocked down a couple of threes. That's a lot.
That's game 5.
You know what I mean?
In psychology or something, man. His basketball career is done. Like,
maybe it's because if a certain somebody just didn't pound the ball all the time and got others involved in the game, maybe they'll feel more confident and make more shots.
Are you talking about Russ or are you talking about bro? I don't understand.
What I'm saying is, you got career years with my boy. Get me? You got a career year.
I don't make the rules. You know?
Career year. You get me?
Close the game, bro.
Let them go down.
Bron did what he did. You know the vibes. Triple dub, something like.
Danny Green's a champion. I didn't even won a chip last year. You get me?
He's won a couple chips still.
So why is it when he comes with Lee Hogg that man can't ball?
The only chips he has.
Is that what it is?
Basically, your happiness is pissing me off, so I'm going to oppose anything you say. So,
okay, I'm with you. You know what? One thing I will respect about you this year is your honesty. But in the game itself, I have to echo what Kay says, because Denver weren't playing well. Like the looks they were getting were hard fought for, and we were shooting efficiently, especially in the first half when the lead was only 10. So I said in the group. So I was looking at it, but I was never really worried, more so because I saw Jokic in foul trouble and Murray didn't look like himself. He picked up an injury, I believe. You can see him stretching out his right leg. I don't know if it was a hamstring or quad injury.
Knee contusion, which is basically just a bone bruise, but they like to say contusion to make it sound more serious than it actually is. But you know what, that you mentioned about that 10-point lead, it felt like you just needed to make one stop on the defensive end and it would have just blown to like 20 points. But they just kept coming down and just getting that bucket just to keep them within 10. But it looked like it was going to go to like 20 at one point. And the next thing you know, it's a tie game. It was.
Do you know why? Because Bron goes to sit and we go to shit, essentially. And then they go on a 21-8 run. They bring it back to a tie game. And Bron's like, yo, what one? Yo, Rondo, like, what's going on here? So he comes back and he's like, okay, say nothing. Let me show you why I'm the best player in the world still. At 35 years of age, he closed it out. I find it so funny, yeah? Me and Reeves have been going on about Bron's mid-range game just disappearing. As if it comes back in a Western Conference final, elimination game. I love it. I absolutely love it. Janine, your lack of your smile, I love it. I love it.
I'm going to go to... Yeah, go on, okay.
Oh, so I was going to say, I was slightly...
even though
they came back from what?
Real basketball.
No, okay, sorry. Wait, I ain't having that, yeah? Because Russ was out here shouting at people's family in the bubble. He was flexing on kids.
That was nasty. That's my goal,
Don't play with me, man.
Down 27, you know.
Excuse me, sir. I'm 3 years old.
What you doing here then?
In the words of the real GOAT, MJ.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Kay?
Weirdly enough, even though they came back when they had like that 21-8 run, like the reason I think as well, I got slightly blame Mike Malone as well, because even though obviously Jokic had foul trouble, at one point even the commentators were saying like Jamal Murray is there getting doubled and he ain't got no one to pass to. Obviously Grant was playing his best, but they didn't have any spot up shooters. When you're getting doubled like that, you kind of want to kick it to a corner or put it into the high post and then boom to a corner, but there's no one there for him to pass to. So what's he really going to do? Like Jeremy Grant's playing out of skin, but well and truly, he's not going to be knocking down open shots every single time.
Yeah.
And then Millsap, cool. What, he's like 36. He's never beaten LeBron in a game in the finals, in the Western Conference final or East. Last game or 2 games ago was his first ever win.
Yeah.
That's just nasty. That's just nasty.
He's a grown man.
All my life, he's been fighting for that 1 W, and he gets washed 4-1. Like, so it's kind of towards the end of that. I think a tiny bit down to Denver set up at one point. Like I think it was like the second quarter at some point. Like they just weren't playing cohesively. Obviously, Murray's not himself, and it just didn't really add up. So they kind of shot themselves in the foot there, even though they had that run. But I think that's more down to us just playing crap than them obviously playing well. So
yeah,
it's tricky.
What do you not think about Adam Silver ensuring that Bron and AD get their free throws?
Listen.
About time.
You know what? Man, I started the game with 10 free throws.
Listen. Do you know what it is?
What's going on?
Do you know what it is? Yes, certain guys have a Lou Will. Yeah, certain guys have a Dennis Schroeder. We got Adam Silver as our 6th man. That's it. That's what we do, baby. That's just what we do.
He finally remembered his job. That's all.
Yeah.
The league won a Lakers Celtics final.
So bad. So bad. 100%.
The Heat ain't gonna allow it. I want to ask you, Janine. So, like Harold mentioned earlier, and like we've discussed in the group, how much LeBron's mid-game game has kind of deteriorated. Those last 5 minutes when he hit a couple mid-ranges. I think one was in Murray's face. Well, both in Murray's face, I think. And then he hit a deep 3. When you were watching that, how did you feel? How did that make you feel?
You know what? Yeah, from like the 3rd quarter already, I already know the game was already theirs anyway. So I was just watching like, fuck's sake, man. Like I already for me to know that I already know they're gonna get this W. It was just pissing me off. Like as the whole team, because there's certain bummy people on that team. I just know like they don't really deserve the W. LeBron deserves the W, but not the whole team.
Yeah, he's carrying a bunch of bums. Listen, he loves a closeout game. 38 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists. This is 10th finals. The 3rd most all time. Is he still the best player in the NBA?
Yeah.
Listen, come on. Don't be like this.
Let's start.
Who's the best? Who's the best?
This will have us believe that Jimmy Harden's better than him.
No, Harden.
What, Jimbo Harden?
He's not the best. He's not. I don't. Okay, we have to wait to see what KD's on.
Let's not talk about people that ain't playing.
Yeah, but he's not. I still
currently, definitely.
I still don't think he's better quiet.
If you wanted to win a chip today, who would you rather have?
I'll take Kawhi.
What?
Why did you go up?
You see how high pitch that was?
Why did you go up?
You see how high pitch?
I can give them R&B. I could give them analysis. You get me? Listen. All I'm saying is, Kawhi didn't have Anthony Davis. He had Pandemic P. Do you know what I mean?
Like, way off P.
This is what
Don't
I'm
do that,
saying.
though.
Like, is it not because the Lakers have had to play bummy teams and then the Clippers had to play some real strong defensive
Wait.
teams?
Let's calm down. Let's calm down, yeah?
Lakers
You
are
lot out
getting
here,
Portland.
you lot out here
nasty.
playing Babs,
But we
yeah?
had them
With no
playing
KP.
everyone.
Invisible defense. The man's playing invisible defense, yeah?
Listen, anybody can get it.
You lot got somebody to break Porzingis' ankle, whatever.
Yeah,
and you
Porzingis'
bust up Luka's ankle, and he'll still give you the man them buckets, yeah? And you scraped through that after trying to break their ankles in the locker rooms, and then you came up against Jokic and Murray,
And was 3-1
one
up.
all NBA player, one All Star, and they gave.
Wait, so now we drained Denver's energy, man. 'Cause that's how Lakers won. That's just it. Anyway.
Okay,
But-
that's gonna go
Anyway,
now.
anyway, Kawhi's better than LeBron. You
Denver's
get me?
been tired, man.
Kawhi's still better than
3-7
LeBron.
series
No.
games.
You know what? I ain't having Kawhi's better than LeBron because I get the skill set part, and we've been having discussions about that in the group. I get the skill set part, but I don't know, more so in sport. I guess just maybe in basketball, where the mentality of a player is.
Let's not do the. Where was the mentality where you?
I know you
made the playoffs. Where was the mentality we didn't make the
He was
playoffs?
injured.
He was injured. You won.
What about before? Did he not come back?
Nah.
Yeah, he did, but it was too late,
What
bro.
happened?
Listen.
You lose every game.
Listen. No. I ain't having that.
That man that came back was an imposter.
The Suns, we're not doing this, yeah? Don't listen to about mentality. When Kawhi got traded to other conference with a bunch of 5'8".
No, don't do
midgets,
that.
yeah?
No.
He
He didn't get traded.
Don't do that.
Don't do
What did they
that.
do this
Don't
year?
do that.
Don't do that.
No.
Second
Okay,
calm this
are we
year.
gonna pretend? Okay, wait. Are you not gonna come and try and cap and now say, you know, oh yeah, Toronto, they could do something. Nobody.
No.
Don't do that. Don't do that. People talk about it.
Kawhi went there, put them on his back, yeah, won the chip.
What? Them man can play, you know.
This
Did
is what we
Kawhi put them on the back? Yes or no?
no.
He did, but that's not the point, though.
Okay, what happened in the Philly series? Who's making shots in the Philly series?
Listen.
Where was Siakam and Larry in the Philly
The
series?
number one option. Listen, if a team can get to the second round of the playoffs, Game 7, without one of the best 5 players in the NBA, that's
In what conference?
That's
In what conference?
Now it's the
So that's the least, yeah. That's the least.
Wait.
Was
Orlando Magic in the playoffs? Yes or no?
Yes.
Were the Brooklyn Nets minus Kyrie and KD in the playoffs? Yes or no?
Portland were in the playoffs. They should never have been there.
Portland, yeah, and who do they have? They have Dame Lillard, Nurkic, and McCollum. Who do the Orlando Magic have?
I mean,
They have.
Okay, and if it's the either, man, I say Penny Hardaway.
they have
He played 20 years ago.
Vucevic, I mean, Aaron Gordon's got his thigh tats.
mentality. He's won a chip on 2 different teams, just like LeBron.
Stop it.
Finals MVP, just like LeBron. He put them bums, Janine's bums on his back in the first round. He tried to do it in the second round. He's back eventually broke
But
one game.
but them bums were, all I'm saying is though, I've been hearing throughout the season from every single outlet that the Clippers are the champions elect, that this is theirs to win. And all we find out a quarter way into the season, Harold's like, yo, listen, we don't actually like each other, man. We ain't practicing. So
Yeah, no, I agree.
he tries to put a young disclaimer on it. He tries to put a disclaimer. Listen, we're going to win, but it's going to be hard.
They were gas, and they were running around like their puck with no rings, which is cheeky.
0 rings.
That's what's on for another day. But another day,
You want to win a chip
if the Clippers
with Beverly as your point guard.
Even if the Clippers had Jimmy Butler or like a Bam Adebayo, not somebody who's not way off pandemic.
Put some respect to them though, because last year he had the year of his life though.
Yeah, but because he had Russ.
No. That's what 28 points a game, shooting his best from 3, top 3 in defensive player of the year and MVP, and he came and stunk up the joint. People expected him to.
When was the last time LeBron was MVP?
When was the last time Kawhi was MVP?
Hello.
That's true. Yeah, I got
He said, what happened was...
Hey, I did my best. I tried it.
Listen, what Paul George did today, what Paul George did, nobody expected that. From how he had an okay regular season, nothing too shabby. Obviously, he's the 1B to Kawhi's 1A, and they're kind of sitting trying to pace themselves through the season. But based on what he gave us last year, bar his shoulder injury and obviously his mentality just going to nonsense in the playoffs, he was really playing like a top 10 player. In the West as well, 28 points a game, like I said, top 3.
I think they held him this season. They held him in the same regard as Kawhi, and he couldn't really match up and level up to him, which was kind of.
Yeah, because Kawhi can literally, when he wants to, say, yeah, okay, cool, I want to go get a bucket right now. Apart from Game 7. Maybe they don't want to. I don't know.
But then if you look at them both, though, like, when we were talking about earlier, like if it comes down to skill set, like Paul George is probably a bit more skilled than Kawhi, but he just doesn't have that thing like, cool, I'm going to do it. He
just got a better handle, that's it.
He's better shooter.
He looks prettier, but nah.
I think he's
Kawhi's mid-range is butter. Go to the rim.
That comes down to picking your spots, but in terms, like you said, skill set, that's completely different. Like Kawhi picks his spots probably better than anyone in the top 5. But obviously, Steph, his spot starts at the halfway line.
So LeBron, obviously, he was doing a Batman and Robin, like he was a Robin to AD's Batman in the postseason. So
AD 6'11", 5 rebounds.
Hey, listen.
To be fair, that's a disgrace. But they were saying he was trying to rebound.
The stat pads, you know
he weren't trying to rebound though.
You know what?
When you watch it, he's not really.
He's nowhere near there. You've got
nowhere near the paint.
He's nowhere near.
Yeah, he's
guys.
But it's a disgrace though.
We will not move on from what Dissu just said. He makes me sick. Yeah, because earlier, listen, you makes me sick because earlier in the playoffs, when we're talking about Doncic stat padding, he was like, I like it, bruv. Just you start the offense, do your thing. Bron's doing it. He's now telling me he's front running. You're nasty. Look at you. You're nasty.
He won against the Denver Nuggets with their best player in foul trouble and a bum ankle Jamal Murray, and LeBron's putting up 38, 16, and 12. Okay.
You can only beat what's in front of you.
Where's the energy with the Warriors, big man? Where's the energy?
You're nasty. You're nasty, man. You're nasty, man. But
horrible, man.
You're nasty. But anyway,
Let's keep the balance, fam.
No, I hear that. No, honestly, listen, I fully respect it.
All I'm saying, Harold, is don't let LeBron lose the finals. Bro.
Yeah, I know.
Everywhere you are, I'm gonna be there. You go.
Listen. Honestly,
date night. Honestly, I'm there.
Okay,
everywhere.
Hey, on the real, we lose the final, and honestly, I won't be here no more. You won't see me again.
I ain't gonna be here. If we lose the finals, I'm cutting my dreads. I'm moving to China. You ain't gonna see me.
Ever see me again.
You ain't seeing me again.
But then on the series itself, I have to give a mention to Dwight Howard. He's someone I've critiqued for years because I feel like with someone who's built like him, built like an entire house, he should be doing a lot more. And these whole shenanigans, this whole I'm gonna beat in your face kind of thing. I'm gonna try and beat you on the mental edge. It really did frustrate me, and he did have that. And I think it was it Game 3? I think it was. Game 3. He had that all those shenanigans he was trying to play with.
But Game 1 it worked though. So
yeah, no, it worked. But I mean,
for him doing it, but obviously, like they said, he's got to tone it down a bit and probably try and be a bit more effective.
Yeah, and I feel like we saw that in Game 4. Some people forget that he's a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah. When he wants to, honestly, those second chance points in Game 4 was the reason why we won. It was LeBron's going to give you a triple double out of his sleep. AD is going to give you 100%, or 80 to 90% from the line. Like, you're going to get these things standard. But now Dwight is doing those things that made people laud him and make people be like, "Oh, have we got the next Shaq here?" Like that. Those were the comparisons that he had when he came into the league. It was that high. So I've been critical of him because he just hasn't lived up to the heights. But Game 4 especially, less so Game 5 last night, but Game 4 especially came up big. The second chance points, and I think that was the biggest game of the entire series, Game 4, because that was the level of when we go ahead, and I think that's when the series actually won.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what, go on.
Oh no, sorry, Julie, not even talking.
Yeah, going off what you just said, Harold, I was thinking that about Rondo because he is probably the most bummiest player in regular season. And when was it? Not last night's game, the game before, he made top 8 or top 10 on their assist leaderboard. I was shocked. I was like, rah. So people know that he plays well in playoffs, but in regular season, this guy
they don't care. Like it's
Rondo.
They don't care.
Playoff Rondo is it, and the thing is, it's a real thing. We talk about playoff. What's it called? Paul George or playoff P or whatever. Playoff Rondo.
Them man there that out. We can't even remember the name, Harold.
Yeah.
Playoffs is a real thing.
Playoff Rondo is a genuine real thing. It's rare that you have a player who plays better in the postseason, where it's much harder to get any sort of possessions or points.
Probably not, because the way it is, like these men are playing before obviously COVID and the bubble. These men are playing back to back. Sometimes they're probably traveling. One night you'll probably be in New York, the next night could be in Milwaukee, and it'll be like the 40th game of the season. Thinking, bro, why am I here? Like, let me just get this. It's like, why am I here?
No,
You're traveling across the
Boy,
country.
you get this check and get on
Yeah,
this
what,
flight,
right,
man.
I know obviously they're millionaires, but if we take it down to a level like America's huge, bro, and they're traveling back and forth and playing games and flying the same night they're playing, have a bit of rest, and that's why they barely practice. And like going back to what you said, Harold, about Dwight, I think that comes down to like situations. Like if we break it down to base level, when he was at Orlando, that was perfect for him. He's surrounded by shooters, bully ball, pick and roll, perfect. He's left now, and he's gone to obviously the Lakers. He's probably thinking, I'm going to be with Kobe. But he's obviously not got the kind of mentality that Shaq had. It was like, cool, I'm going to...
It was that as well, but I think his back injury as well took
and his back finished him as well, to be fair to him. That totaled him. So obviously Lakers didn't work out for him. So somehow, some way, he's got a big move to Houston. And they probably told him, like, listen, you and Harden, it's going to be like Kobe and Shaq was. You're going to have this role. All of a sudden, like, actually, we like shooting. Just rebound and pass the ball out. But he's thinking, yo, listen, you told me I'm going to have a role here. And obviously that comes down to like his mentality. He's probably thinking, he checked out, like, I ain't trying to be here. Then before you know it, Capella's come along. He ain't trying to be there. And obviously he's bounced about and not been the man that he was. But obviously now in the Lakers, our offense stinks. If we're keeping it a buck, our offense is horrible. But when it comes down to it, the cliche is, oh yeah, defense wins championships. So with him, even though he's not the Dwight of that 26, 27, 3-time defense player of the year, he can do one thing, which is rebound and block shots. That's his one thing. And Vogel's giving him that role. Like, you do this, AD will score the buckets, but we'll rotate you and JaVale or whatever, and you just do this for us. Obviously, you're not the man you were 5-10 years ago, but if you do this for us, cool. He didn't play last series because the matchups weren't really there for him, which is fair, but he's come back. Even with a bit of the hysterics here and there, he's kind of done his job. And that comes down to literally just them telling him, like, listen, this is the situation. And him kind of realizing, like, yo, this is kind of the last dance, because he's had all these chances and he's kind of getting a reputation where people have forgotten that he's a 3-time MVP, a 3-time defense player of the year, and 8-time.
For real.
And people just think he's a joke, man. But in reality, he's probably one of the best defensive players all time in his position.
Agreed. Yep. He's played for 8 different franchises. Ooh, and even when, because they were looking for another big man, when people saw they were linked to Howard, people were like, ooh, do you really want Dwight Howard around your franchise? And it seemed like the talk was that he blew them away in terms of his mentality and his approach. And I think, like you say, Kay, he knew this was his time. Like, time was up for him, and it was basically put up or shut up now. And he's coming and he's slotted into a role. So, like you say, certain series, he may not be needed because the matchup isn't there. In certain series like this one, you'll be needed to go out there and really disturb and bother Jokic. And listen, Jokic is a superstar. He'll get his bucket. But Howard made him uncomfortable. Yesterday, a bit of antics with Paul Millsap and whatnot. But for the most part, he was a net positive for them. And like you say, Harold, he came through clutch in Game 4 with a second chance points and picking up rebounds and just playing stellar fundamental defense, really. And when you watch it, it's almost like he's on like $2.5 million this year. And it's almost like, it's why have you allowed yourself to become this kind of joke within the league? Because you're clearly a player who can still talk. And obviously he had that whole Superman persona and this and that. And you always want to be like a funny guy, ha, ha, ha. And it's like, you've kind of let yourself become a joke. And like you say, Kate, everyone's forgotten who you were. And this would be a nice kind of swan song to his career to win a chip. And you can say that you came up big at certain moments for your club in the playoffs. And I'm kind of rooting for him, like, funnily enough, rooting for Dwight Howard. Who would think that? But it'd be nice to see him win one after everything he's done in this league, essentially.
The league's changed as well. Like, when he was the man, it was, he was giving you, 22 and 10 a game. He was surrounded by shooters, but more often than not, there's a time they probably pick and roll. Like, he's the focal point of that offense. Got to Lakers, obviously Kobe's there. The mentality just didn't mesh. He was probably even more carefree than Shaq was. Got to Houston. He probably thought, listen, I'm fit again. I'm going to be the man. You guys are going to feed me the ball. Didn't happen. So he's come to he's probably not been missold situations, but he's probably expected too much of himself when the game changed rapidly. From 2008, 2012, everything switched.
Agreed.
And so from his injuries coming back to 2012, he's not been the same, but he's not kind of wanting to adapt. He's probably just thought, cool, I'm trying to be the man. And I know you guys all remember when Shaq was saying, okay, cool, this is how Dwight's going to average 25, 26 a game. Some hook shots, some post moves, bit of spins, pick and roll. But then he didn't want to adapt and like bring his role back a bit. And as we can see, the big man, bar the anomalies we have like Embiid, Jokic, they're almost non-existent to that high level, of course. And the ones that do exist, they are very two-dimensional, whereas Dwight is incredibly one-dimensional. And it's just kind of just his time was just off, like the league changed. And he adapt fast enough.
There is one thing I will say on that, and Mariah, you made you made a note to it as well. You were talking about how he let himself become this joke man, and this is why I don't really take too much stock in, or I haven't in past years take too much stock into the mental aspect of the game. But you have to question it when you can be. Well, we know that you can be that guy. You know, you can be that player that Shaq has described you to be. And now it's a case of, do I really want it? Like, how much do I want it? How much do I not want to go out and go spend $1 million in the strip club like Harden? Or how much do I want to make sure I have a strict diet, unlike Embiid? How much do I want to make sure that I'm posting up shots? How much do I want to make sure that I'm above 50% from the line? Like these basic things, you know? So it's a case of like, how much do you really want it? And I feel like we're seeing that desire from Howard now that I haven't seen before. Like I feel like he's now in a place where he's like, you know what, I get it. Everyone's on board with the vision. They all know that some of their players are shoddy, but they're here and they're riding the wave. And you know, some people need to play a bigger part than others. He's one of those people.
If AD wasn't on the Lakers, would you hold him like on the same regards to be like LeBron's second?
No, because that's not his job anymore, and as well because like an even bigger example is who's come from an even lower place is like JaVale. Everyone remembers JaVale and Shaq's in a fool. His reputation was.
He said that ruined his career.
It ruined him, and then he went to the Warriors, a serious franchise at the time, and he became their guy. Come off the bench, get them boards, get them blocks. Boom, I'm gonna do my job. Obviously, Dwight's fallen from a higher place, but he was still that guy, and obviously as well, the league don't wait for anybody, man. Like people get better, like. Yeah. Dwight can't bully people like that anymore. It's even though he's still the physical specimen that he is, like his moves that he used to have, or his posting up and whatever, his athleticism, it don't exist anymore. The Dwight we're seeing now is probably the Dwight we saw, let's say 8 years ago. But at the same time, the league's changed, so he's not going to be as effective like we've seen with these big men who are very one-dimensional. Like it don't cut it, which is probably why Houston probably traded Capella as well to a lesser extent.
Yeah, facts. LeBron had a fantastic game, but I don't want to forget his number 2, Anthony Davis, 27 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, made clutch free throws.
Baby goat.
Made clutch free throws down the stretch. Going into this playoffs, we did make a big point about him basically playing up to his ability and how highly he was rated. But when you actually look at the resume of what he's achieved, it didn't quite match up. I think in these last 2-3 series, he's really kind of taking that on board, and even with the game winner in game 2, he was talking about legacy, and this is what people remember. And we talk about Dwight Howard. LeBron is 35 now.
Yeah,
he's achieved everything he's going to achieve in the league. The only thing that adds to his resume now is titles. And you saw when they were all like celebrating and dancing and wearing their shirts, he was just
sitting on the floor.
He was just sitting on the floor like
this is normal for him.
Job's not finished.
Yeah.
This is cool, but I need you lot to see me on the floor, not jumping with you, because this don't mean shit. Like in a Western Conference final does not mean anything.
No one remembers that.
It's titles. It's titles or nothing. So just to talk about AD, what were your thoughts on him this series? How well he plays? Has he stepped up? Has he improved in your opinion? Yeah. Tell me what you guys think.
He's honestly, this is all I can give him because you guys obviously watched him through the entire playoffs, and the AD we're seeing in this series is very different to the one in the Portland series.
Oh, big time.
For the first 2 games, he's trying to give a couple jab steps, trying to take the winners, trying to pick and pop.
When he thought it was KD, yeah,
and it weren't going to work. And obviously, as it went on, he realized Nurkic was barbecue chicken. And as the series has gone on, he's kind of just adapted and realized, hold on, like no one could guard me inside. And the mid-range, like the short corner and the high post, that's my money. So I've got to make the most of that.
Exactly.
And obviously, we've seen him not rebounding because normally he'd probably give us 2 offensive boards a game and a couple defensive boards. But by default, it's a disgrace. You're only getting 5 a game because you're 6'11". The ball hit you on the head by accident and you catch it. But at the same time, like he's honestly, he's done what I expected of him, but in a better team. For example, like what he was doing at New Orleans. But I say the team stunk, but he just didn't have it and they faced the Warriors. But he's just doing what has been expected and people have expected for a long time.
Yeah, I feel like it's come to a point where people are like, okay, you know what, I'm going to give you your flowers. Because throughout this, as we came to the end of the bubble and we're just looking at our top 5s, like this is just typical NBA chat. And a few people were having AD outside the top 5. And to be honest, it was hard to argue against it, to be fair. But but those people are currently hosting the show right now. But them man I feel like they've changed their predictions, you know. And when a man comes up trumps, you know,
conversation. I mean, when the conversation, listen. This is the NBA, and it's a moving beast. When we were talking about AD's performance, and I think you were critical of him as well, Harold. You may have still had him in your top 5 because he's a baby goat. But I think the question that's always been with him, yes, you did that at New Orleans, and that was a great player in a poor system. This is different now. Being the number 2 man and at times having to carry your team in the postseason for a team that's expected to compete for championships is a different expectation. Can you live up to that? Can you? And he's proven that he can. So I think skill level wise, you have him in your top 5. But like we discussed with LeBron and Kawhi, skill set is one thing. Being actually able to use your skill set to contribute to winning basketball. And when we're talking about winning, we're not just talking about the regular season like James Harden. We're talking about winning the thing that matters above most, winning the title. Can your game translate to do that? We've seen Giannis struggle with it. AD's definitely more skilled than Giannis. And I'm happy you shut me up because I'm a big Anthony Davis fan in terms of how his skill set comes together. You don't see players as big as him, who are as agile as him, can score from all over the court. Well, he's a big man who shoots above 80% from the free throw. Even that's unheralded.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
We take that for granted.
That's why LeBron is a disgrace, by the way.
Yeah, number 2, he's UK number 2 in defensive player of the year, the defensive player of the year this season. He's a terrific player. And at 27-28, for the post-LeBron era, the Lakers are in very, very good hands, man. You can't complain, man.
It's a weird one.
Yeah. Go on.
Because we know he's got that pressure. Like he's not performed in the play. He's not been in the playoffs before because of whatever. But at the same time, even though he's kind of got that pressure, I feel like LeBron being there is a world of a joy for him because he knows if I'm not hitting, worst case, he is there. Like he'll be the one to bail me out. Because before, he's looking at Solomon Hill and then man.
It's one more.
Like, more often than not, the ball is in LeBron's hands and he is dictating. And obviously now we've got Rondo when LeBron's on the bench, kind of putting people in their places. You see him pointing out, you be there. So while AD's doing his thing, and obviously they get him started early, similar to what LeBron did with Kevin Love towards the end, like get him started early, then we're good. Get him started, perfectly fine. But LeBron being there, that takes a world of pressure off your shoulders at the same time because everyone knows that when it comes down to it, ain't nobody going to be talking about you if you lot fail. They're going to be talking about LeBron.
No, but you know what's funny though, okay, yeah, because I feel like it's important to remember. I always say, but it's always important to remember the narrative. So remember before he was traded. So like in the midst of him being traded, obviously the Lakers moving the whole young core, and a lot has been made about that and whether that would pay dividends. And we see Brandon Ingram doing great things in New Orleans, and we're like, yo, what's going on here? So I feel like there's always been a pressure, and that's part of the reason why a guy like Kawhi, a guy like PG has not really wanted to team up with Bron because. It's like there's the pressures that come with playing with Bron are high, and even though you say
there's a circus,
I need help.
There's a circus.
Yeah, exactly, and there's this whole like toxicity around him, and I get all of that. And sometimes he can be overly exuberant, overly expressive on social media, and it can be sometimes to his detriment. Like with the whole reading of the book thing, not reading the book thing, like all of them kind of things. It is all funny. But one thing I will give Bron credit for in taking AD under his wing, not even in the fact that he can bail AD out, it's the fact that Bron is like, I've been here, I've done this, I've been the villain. I know what it's like to play these awful games against the Mavs and come up short, and how I responded subsequently. So he can go to AD and be like, "Yo, you're not doing the things you should be doing against Nurkic. Yo, let's sort it out." And he did, and he responded the right way. He said he would, and he has. So I think Game 2 is bigger for AD than it could have ever been. Like that's that I've heard analysts talk about. That's what's made him from a great player to an all-time great player. It's those kind of plays that make you think, yeah, you know what? I'm the business. I'm the creme de la creme. I'm the best big. Yeah, that's the kind of.
You think he's the best big?
Yeah.
Is he a big?
That's the problem.
Going off what you just said, Harold, yeah, do you know what? I think he's developed such a good second-hand like leadership from Bron, and I think in terms of if like Bron was like load managed a lot, he could actually lead that bench on the court himself. You know, I think he's got really good spatial awareness within the paint. I think it was yesterday's game. He did that block against Michael Porter Jr. and I was like, wow, okay, cool.
About time, man.
Fantastic defense.
But he was doing nothing on defense. I can't even lie to you, man. Man was just chilling.
That's what the big players do, man. We don't play defense because It's true. Like 45 minutes of 40-minute games. You'll be giving 100% on both ends in the playoffs.
Yeah,
That's not happening.
I make 2-3 key defensive plays just to see us over the line, and that's all we really. We saw it at Miami when LeBron was at his physical peak. He'd let what was Miami's point guard called?
Rio
Chalmers. He let Rio Chalmers chase the point guard around for 45 minutes. Last 3 minutes, okay, I'm guarding him now. And that's enough of that. And to be honest with you, we talk about LeBron's defense. It's been stellar this playoffs. It's been stellar. It's been back to some of his best defending. It's been great to see at his mighty old age.
It's because you can't hide him.
At this point, you guys are the favorites. So let's go over to the other side to talk about the two teams you could potentially be facing. It's 3-2. It's 3-2 in the Eastern Conference Series with the Celtics pulling off
the All Stink All Stars. That man Tyler Hero is the cleanest one of them all, and he's got a bit of a grey hue now because them man don't shower, man. Them man, I'm not showering.
Team full of Pat Bevs, man. Dirty locks and all. I want to say, so they beat the Celtics beat the No Stink All Star 121-108 to bring the series to 3-2. They're playing tonight. Janine, how's that series gone for you? What did you think of the Celtics performance the other night? And are you expecting the Heat to see it out tonight, or do you think it's going to go to a game 7?
I'm thinking Heat will see it out tonight. I think Celtics have become just a little bit relaxed. Like I expected a little bit more from them in this series against the Heat, but they're not really delivering to what I thought. Especially like Jason Tatum, I held him a little bit more like at a higher standard, but he's not really giving me that kind of great play on the court at the moment. But from the previous game, I think their defense was actually quite great. So hopefully, if they show out tonight, that maybe it'll be taken up to game 7. So we'll see what's going on with them. But yeah. I'm thinking Heats will probably get the people that don't shower. That's probably why. That's why they're good.
We shower if we win a chip, and if we
don't shower when they win. That's why.
I think the Celtics are in great hands with Brown and Tatum because they're two talented wings who both play both ends. We saw against the Raptors that Tatum was the one who kind of led the charge. Yeah. And it seems that this series, Brown is the one who's having more joy against the Heat. Tatum did have a good game last game, but it wasn't a very efficient game. Is there any world where you see the Celtics beating the Heat tonight and we go to game 7?
Yeah, yes, it's possible. Like
maybe if Tatum shows up in the first half, they might do something. That's not too much to ask for.
Yeah,
if you went 3 or 6 that first half, they win.
You know what I mean? Yeah. No, Janine, you're completely right. Like I feel like this. It's so mad because this is almost reminiscent of the Raptor series. I feel like for large parts of this series, Celtics have been the better team. I said it on last week. I feel like Celtics have been the better team. They've held good leads in the final quarter, but then just flopped it when it came to it. We saw outbreaks of Marcus Smart causing the madness in the changing rooms and everything, and how they responded post that with Hayward coming back. But you'd think they would push on from there, but it feels like they take 2 steps forward, and then Kemba is out here taking these little baby steps back.
Kemba giving everyone a heart attack because he can't shoot.
Yeah, man. Cardiac Kemba. The thing is, though, I think their 2 best players are still what we're talking early
23.
20s. Yeah, to the early 20s. Like Kay said, the No Stink All Stars. You're talking about guys like Jimmy Butler, Andre Iguodala, Jay Crowder, Goran Dragic. You're talking about guys who've been in this league for years and know how it works. And they talk about Bam and his mentality is absolutely elite. You've got Tyler Hero, who had a 37-point game the other night. Duncan Robinson, probably one of the best 2-3 shooters in the league. And then they've got Spo, who for me is probably he's been there. And you're talking about top 2, top 3 coaches in the league.
Yep.
Miami are a tough out, man. I don't think it's any knock on the Celtics to go 6 games with them.
It's a weird one because as we've seen in both the East and the West, like teams all of a sudden are just struggling with zone. It's almost like obviously they don't train, they don't practice as much, but all of a sudden they're struggling with it. And you think at the elite level they'll make their adjustments quicker.
Do you know why though, Kay? Do you know why they're struggling? It's because the Heat play zone throughout the whole game. Like they don't even go man. Like they just literally just suppose that, you know what? He even had like a little, before they go to another quarter, they have that little interview. He's like, I must switch up the zone. Man, they switch nothing, bro. Man plays zone the whole game.
All right, do you know another thing as well? Yeah, another thing as well. When it really comes down to it, like I think Reams even said it in the group, like 80% of the time in the playoffs, teams were going to resort to their best player. It becomes hero ball, not execution.
Literally, it becomes hero ball.
When it comes down to it, like Celtics heroes are 23, 24 and they've been into the playoff, the Eastern Conference Finals before, but they've been younger or they haven't even been there. So you're now asking a 22, 23-year-old to now be the man and the best player on a team that's facing Jimmy Butler and obviously an elite coach. Like when it comes down to it, Jimmy Butler's probably going to guard him. And like the Celtics are all about execution. They haven't executed as well as they could have probably. But then when it comes down to like the hero ball, like Jimmy said, I don't care about scoring, but we saw in that game where he made that and one in the last 5 seconds. They're going to give the ball to Jimmy at the end of the game.
Yep, 100%.
They'll execute their best they can until, let's say, halfway through the fourth. And all of a sudden, it's like, listen, okay, cool. Things getting a bit stagnant. Jimmy.
Yep, literally.
Thank God Hero turned up, but most of the time, it'll be in Jimmy's hands. Whereas the Celtics, the hero ball they're playing, I think Tatum's taking a lot of bad shots, which is allowed as, the best player on the team. But at the same time, I think they could probably be a bit better executing in the long term.
Yeah,
agreed.
I think I've got a point to make on Heat as well. I think a lot of props need to be given to Bam as well. A man who really embraces his Nigerian heritage. So for any of those brothers who are out here, a bit unsure about what side to lean on, just know that you shouldn't ever change your last name to suit the white man. Let's not forget. Yeah, honestly,
Harold, you're in fine form today, my brother.
That is a real curse. That's going to be a smut on his name forever.
Honestly, but on all seriousness, Bam, I genuinely think is the leaps he has made has been phenomenal. He's blocked. It feels like an age ago that block he had. I can't even believe it was this series. That block he had was genuinely the best block I've ever seen. Like the ball, okay, you might disagree, but the ball was basically in the hoop. Like it was almost a goaltend. It was simply sensational. I feel like he's made a massive step up. He's shown his worth. He's made a step further. He's obviously played well in the regular season. I think like he was a bit unfortunate to miss out on most improved, but he's honestly he's been quality, and I feel like providing the Heat win. So I had the Heat in 6. Provided the Heat win, I think he'll cause some problems for the Laker defense. It'll be something different to what we faced before. It won't be barbecue chicken like that as much as it was before. So sure. Yeah, man.
But I blame, just to throw it back even further, like I blame Coach Calipari for this, because people probably wouldn't be as shocked at Bam performing like this if he didn't limit his big men so much as we've seen before with Cat. Like Cat came into the draft and everyone thought that he was a defensive player. And as we've now clearly seen, he cannot play a lick of defense.
Yeah.
However, he is a fantastic offensive player. And the same with Bam. Everyone thought, Bam had a bio, he's got a high motor, could rebound well. And obviously, clearly, he's a lot more than that. He can do a lot more. And just to go sideways slightly, I think I was even listening to the Herd for some daft reason. Colin said it best. He actually had one good point. He was saying, listen, franchises like the Lakers, we don't develop players, which is why D'Lo left, became an all-star. Same with Ingram. But you've got Celtic and Heat, which are fantastic. Even as much as I hate them both, they're fantastic from the board or the chairman all the way down to the front, from the front office all the way down to the coaches. And as we can see, you got Hero, Adebayo. None had a decent regular season, but he's not really done well this playoffs. Yeah, you got Celtics on the other side. Marcus Smart, when he first came there, couldn't. His shot was horrible. He can clearly now shoot. He's taking pull-up threes. You've got Tatum.
I genuinely love watching Marcus Smart. He is the epitome of what playoff basketball is.
100%.
Guys like him, Jimmy Butler, obviously Bron. These guys are just built different. They'll win at all costs. And it won't be to the detriment of their team, Pat Bev. So this is the quality that we should be seeing.
He's just not good.
You're a sick guy, Harry.
He's just not good. Like Pat Bev tries his best to be good. Like be that vocal leader. Like if you're trash, you need a role. You can be the funny guy, or you can be like the emotional leader, like Draymond. Like he's finishing his league, rest his soul. Like I don't want to see him again. But he's the emotional leader of the Warriors.
Draymond, you mentioned Draymond Green gets his obviously warrior life or whatever, ride from my boys, emotional leader.
Yeah.
They get to the situation where they obviously sign Steph. KD's last season, is he going to sign? Is he going to sign? Kicks him out. Gets his big contract, 4 years, 80 million. Now he works for the Clutch Media Machine. All he seems to do is big up and hype LeBron.
Clutch Mafia, baby.
We don't make the rules, baby.
You know what I mean?
We don't make the rules.
You guys are calling us 3-6 Mafia, bro. It's a real thing, you know? It's a real thing.
Listen. Aye, come to death row.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? Yeah, you know what's funny? Right at the end of the game, you see Bron Bear gripsing up Jeremy Grant. He's whispering his hey, listen,
baby.
Hey, come.
I can make it happen for
you.
You
Know what I mean? Hey, you see that Danny Bricks, baby? Don't worry, time's limited still. Hey, come over, man.
Opt out of that little 9 million thing.
Yeah, come over here, bro.
You'll eat with us.
Aye, you see Kentavious? We got him that. I did that. I did that. Listen, bro, I can make this happen for you, man.
Oh man. So we're expecting the Heat. We're expecting the Heat to get through tonight, and if not tonight, I guess in a game 7. How do you think? Let's talk a little bit hypothetically because we will have our finals preview.
Yeah.
But on first thoughts, how do you think they're going to match up with the Lakers?
Well, because their role players, their system offense is a lot better than us. But as Denver's also was, I feel the defense could maybe trouble them a tiny bit if they don't get going early. And as we've seen in this series with the Celtics, their biggest lead has been 8 points across all the games. Like that's not a lot. And they've relied on runs a lot to come back into things. So they can get caught a bit stagnant, and it just kind of depends on how locked in the Lakers are. And I'm not going to lie, like the first game I saw against Portland, where we were shooting like 5 or 20 or something silly.
Oh my gosh.
I thought that was going to be a trend for the rest of the playoffs, but clearly now they're hitting open shots. So it's a tricky one. Obviously, we're the favourites, but I don't think it's going to be as cut and dry as everyone thinks.
It's definitely not a foregone conclusion. Yeah,
because we've been out coached, but it's just come down to individual brilliance. Like we were a buzzer beat away from being 2-1 down. So we've been out coached before. It just comes down to the fact that we've got those 2 players there, thankfully. So
but do you know what though? Yeah, see, I feel adverse to that because I don't feel like it works like that. I don't feel like you can just. I get the fact that it was a buzzer beat away, but I don't feel like we've come out as sluggish as we did in game 3. If we're drawing 1-1, I like to think so anyway, basically. But I do hear what you're saying. One thing I will give Frankie V credit for is those defensive schemes, man. He keeps them coming. He keeps them ticking. He's doing the things that we're watching and we're shouting at them to do. So you see who's got the hot hand, double him. You see that Jokic is in foul trouble, he's about to go out. Okay, cool. Let's put everything on Jamal Murray and then let's leave all the rest of the man open. Like that's all right. Like if Millsap makes a contested 3, I can live with that. Listen, I can live with that, and that's something I have to give him credit for. And that's something that he's been critiqued of. But his defense is what I was hoping we'd rely on. Obviously, there's individual brilliance of our 1 and 2 players, but the defense is really what's going to separate us once again, like it has been for the last 3 seasons in this finals. I personally would prefer Boston because I just feel like we will overpower them, and also the fact they have a lesser coach than Spo. But and that's not to say I'm any disrespect for Brad Stevens. I do rate him, but the Heat series it's going to be tough. If that's who we play in the finals, it's going to be seriously tough. I'm interested to see the AD Bam matchup. I'm interested to see if Heat can shoot well, man. If Heat shoot well, where it's looking long from us. And although we did all right to defend the 3-point against Houston, I think we struggle against the Heat because when them white boys get going, boy, it's
listen. We got Harden out here, we got Russ out here, albeit on one leg. We got Jamal out here.
Yeah, but the thing is,
37-year-old Dragic, I think will kind of be okay. I say kind of because he's playing out his socks right now, and he wasn't playing like this in the regular season. Obviously, we know it's different. But
who's this? Rondo? Did you say?
I'm not Rondo. Dragic.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And if it came up a Rondo against Dragic, I'll probably still pick Rondo because right now he's playing out of his skin. Also, sorry. On a separate note, why is Rondo so bad from the line? He's got big hands. That's his excuse. He's been stinky forever.
We discussed shooting a few, maybe 4 pods ago, and I always say to you lot that for me, the free throw shows me how good you are as a fundamental shooter. It's literally the
Yeah.
same repetitive action
Yeah.
again and again and again.
It's
And
so
obviously,
simple.
Yeah, it's the same repetitive action. So the people who have the muscle memory, your Steve Nashes, your Steph Currys, your Chris Pauls, your Kevin Durant, is almost butter. And you lot mentioned the point that, but you see people, it's also mental. The only reason people have mental issues up there is because they know they can't shoot it. When I'm coming to the line and I know I'm not a good free throw shooter, I'm nervous. But when I'm Steph Curry, it's like I've hit this, like
It's a weird one though, because there's like the old cliche, there's like shot takers and like shot makers. Like obviously you get free throws repetitive, that's the most fundamental thing you can ever do. But you can get people that will twist you out your socks and step back on you and can make a three. So
Facts.
that's not something everyone can do. But at the same time, like I do agree, like fundamentally free throws is something that is exactly the same. And like you said, it comes down to mentality. People make shots, but you look at you be like, he's played great today. You look at his averages, that's only 42%. But you think, he makes shots.
Yeah,
and that's what people remember. So it comes down to that.
It's true. So Rondo, we know he's never been a good shooter. He's always been a guy who gets to the basket and makes layups. He's a slasher. It is what it is, man. He makes up for it with fantastic hoops IQ, good defense. He just knows how
phenomenal
to play
passing.
He just knows how to play basketball, man. He just knows how to play basketball.
If it's the Lakers and the Heat, finally, I don't think Lakers will struggle that much. To be fair,
really,
they'll have a tough side, but I think there'll be a lot of reliance on Jimmy within to close off the series, and I think that's what they need to not follow the same model Lakers are doing with LeBron and just play off their whole defense side, and then hopefully, obviously, it's them that's obviously going to get the chip in.
Yeah, Jimmy ain't no LeBron. We love Jimmy.
Yeah, they're not no LeBron, so I don't think they should
LeBron.
follow that same system. They're just doing it. LeBron's gonna carry the team regardless. But
I thought that Janine, I completely appreciate that as well. To be fair, you make a good point. I just feel like they'll be damned if in the biggest series, this is assuming that the Heat get there, of course. If somehow Celtics win this, I'll be shocked. But if they'll be damned if what's worked for them in the past, they don't at least try. Do you know what I mean? Like I expect Bron to be on Jimmy the same way it was on Murray. Like I want that intensity on D. Like listen, if we're not getting anywhere unless he does it. He needs to be the one to mark up. Literally, I always have it as the best player marks the best player from the opposite team in the biggest moment. That's how I always see it.
That's how people say it, but the thing is, like Kane mentioned, you're running up and down for 48 minutes.
I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah, but no. Not fight the whole game. No, not fight the whole game. Not fight the whole game. I mean, final stretches.
But even though, sometimes your best player might not even be your best defender, so sometimes just confirm it.
You don't want Steph Curry on Jimmy Butler, do you?
Nah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, you don't want Steph Curry on me in the last minute. I'm telling you, I'm not having it. Listen, I am 6'2". I'll run through that boy. I'm not having it, man. That's the one guy you don't want to see in front of.
Okay, but you know what I'm saying? It's more general, like
I know what you mean.
Yeah. But no, I feel like they still will go hero ball with Jimmy, because that's what everyone does. Like in the last moments,
in the final,
Russians at the highest. You're like, listen, Bron, take the ball, do your thing. Like I can't do this. Like,
but I will say though, we've had probably better quality of games purely because there's no crowd. Because the crowd can gas you to eternity. I'm telling you, if it comes down to the last 3 minutes and you're at the Staples and the game's on the line and they're screaming at you,
gets away with it.
And they're screaming at you, you have no. Listen, bigger people have crumbled. Like LeBron has crumbled.
Facts.
And I was like, you're Airlines Arena. So
yeah. Facts. You're so right. It's like when I was saying to you guys earlier that last 5 minutes or so, LeBron was just like, okay, I'm the only one touching this ball now, and if you're getting it, it's because I've trusted you to take the ball and do something with it.
Or it's just a borrowed thing.
Exactly. I'm giving it to you for me to move a bit. For you
exactly,
to
give me the ball back.
I'll be there in 2 minutes. You better be there when I get there. You better
look at that rim. And don't you dare look at anybody else. This ball is coming right back to me.
Which is why sometimes you see them guys take some quick shots, because I see Kuzma jacking that thing. I think, hold on.
Bro, listen. And you know what? Yeah, you know with Kuz in particular, you never see him give Bron eye contact. Listen, Bron was shouting at this guy, but and you know it's good that you bring up Kuzma, because do you guys remember last year? Remember that massive moment where Kuz pushed Bron to go and defend? Do you remember?
Oh man,
you remember that against? I think it was against the Jazz. I can't remember who was against.
I know. I remember he did it though. He must have pushed.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but I remember he did it as well. I remember he did this. Listen, he had a good, solid rookie season because
and he's gotten worse since.
Yeah, and he's gotten worse since. Like literally, Jalen Rose always banging on about they don't need another piece because their third piece is Kyle Kuzma. Can we get some consistency, please, sir? Are you a good shooter? Are you a what are you?
He's an influencer's boyfriend. I don't want him anywhere near. He's gotten worse. I don't want. Listen. Me and Kyle Kuzma have a serious bones to pick. He's just taken bits of Danny Brick's game and just gotten worse. Because I was thinking, cool, of all the people that we've traded, yeah, let's keep Kuzma. I was one of the idiots saying we got rid of BI, but we kept Kuzma. Don't worry, guys, he'll come good. And he's slowly gotten worse and worse and worse. Even, I know there's more pressure because you're playing on a bronze team now that's expected to get somewhere. And he's a sixth man, maybe didn't adapt to that role. But bro, the sixth man is more or less a glorified shooter. Like, listen, jack that thing up. Jack that thing up. And if you're not doing that, at least a 43-44% clip. Like,
yeah, I'm not really sure what other value you're bringing.
What are you doing there, man?
Literally, and I need to make it even worse. Even on D, oh my goodness, that facade he was running on D in game 5 or game 4. Oh my goodness, he would like the D. He wouldn't even like. Have you ever known a guy to defend but then just keep moving? Like, but man wouldn't even stop to put his arms up. The guys on YouTube can see what I'm doing.
What is he good at?
Man would just keep running and keep trying to block a shot. Man gave the most obvious pump fake, the slowest pump fake in history, and got Kuzma flying into the crowds. I get so livid.
Effort on defense. That's that effort on defense. You be hearing friend like, hey, that's it, Carl. That's it, Carl.
No, like just stay calm.
You'll get it next time. You'll get it next time.
I actually don't know what he's good at because when he first came, I'm thinking, yeah, he's 6'8". He spent 4 years in college for good reason, for very good reason, as we can see. He was the oldest rookie out of the bunch. He was 23, I think, or 23 at the bunch. So I think, okay, cool. He had a very solid first year while we stunk. No Bron. Second year, I was like, all right, cool, 6 man, whatever. But now, I just don't know what he's good at, well and truly. He can't play defense. He's gotten better, albeit, but he's just long, which is good for him.
He's gotten worse since the bubble started because I remember giving him props at the beginning of the bubble because he was actually playing. He was probably our best player. Remember at the beginning of the bubble?
Yeah,
he was. He had a 30 piece. He had a 30 piece. He did all right.
Yeah, Janine. Yeah, and exactly, Kay. Like he was. Like, I was probably looking at him. I was like, okay, this is the only guy that's actually played well since the playoffs started. Honestly, I haven't heard a pin from. I haven't heard a peak from him. Like it's nothing. Like
he's been trending, man. I told you, he's Winnie Harlow's boyfriend now. Until further notice.
and his contract time for him, he'll probably want 15. He'll probably want 40.
Yeah, mad. What do you mean? 15 what? 15 pounds? Yeah, take that.
Listen. Better man have been paid. You remember Alan Crabb? 75 M's over 5 years. Kuzma deserves the same at least. But just not on the Lakers.
It's just not on the Lakers.
It's not on the Lakers. If you can get that money, just not from us. Listen, I'm all for my young black kings getting paid. As long as I don't have to pay.
I reckon they're not going to let him go. He's going to get that. You both know he's going to get that contract.
Because you know why? Yeah, because he's the only one that's not 33. That's the only reason.
Pretty much.
Caruso is not 33, but he looks it, and he ain't gonna be doing much. You got Danny Bricks, JaVale, Kentavious. Listen, he's one violation from going back to San Quentin. You've got a few people there who are on the wrong side, and well and truly, JR, Dion, a couple of them probably be gone by the end of the year.
Yeah,
so the only young person there. And like I said, the Lakers aren't in the business of developing young talent. Kuzma is there and does a job. He'll give you 15, if that.
I wish he gave us 15.
If he gave you 15, I think we'd be happy with him.
You know what I mean?
Gives you 15.
So he gave us what, 12 or 13 this year? I'll say 15 at a push, but yeah, at a push. So listen, it's going to be tricky because I don't see any other. I don't. Like you said, we'll discuss later. I don't think we have any pieces or what. So I think we're kind of going to be shoehorned into the fact to be like, hey, Kyle, how much you want? Listen, it's going to be one of those because we don't really have any other choice at this point.
Yeah, he did give you a cheeky 8 yesterday, so there's that. So once again, I want to thank you all for your time. Kay and Harold, you're actually pretty honourable today.
Listen, I'm a happy man. Adesanya won the UFC, the Lakers won the Sunday League today. I'm balanced. If it was just the Lakers,
I love it. Perfectly balanced. That's all things should be.
As they should be.
Harold, like you said, all you've been seeing is W's the last couple of weeks, so you're happy. Janine, you were magnanimous in defeat. A bit quieter than you usually are, but that's fine. We know you're still licking your wounds. We'll be back. I want to thank you all. I want to thank
We'll
you
be
all
back.
for your
I know
time.
Harold wants to do one, you know, LA matchup with me, but yeah, hold tight, Harold. We'll get you.
Like, hold tight, Hizzy.
Hold tight, Harold. We'll get
We'll
there.
do that one next season, yeah? All right, and with that, guys.
Do that one when
yeah.
LeBron leaves, yeah? Because you have nothing
I
to
can't
say.
wait for that. I can't wait for him to leave. Oh my god! Listen,
You
how we're
remember-
going outside. Just
You remember
that.
him when you remember him when Caruso's your second option, innit?
It's pending. Wait, 2025. Listen, when LeBron leaves us like the Cavs, it's pending. Aye, Palinka's gonna be trying to move pieces for a 40-year-old KD. Like, hey, we can make this happen, man. It's pending, but in the meantime, just ride the wave. Ride the wave.
Facts. Just enjoy it as long as it lasts, and I think it's just final word, just to appreciate him while he's here. We've seen him compared to so many players of his current generation, and the fact that he's been so consistent, like you said, Harold, 9 finals in the last 10 years. We've almost expected that. I think between him and Golden State being the favorites and then always making it to the final, we've always had this idea like, once you have that tag, you have to do it.
Yeah.
But the lumps that Giannis is going through, the lumps that the Celtics are going through, the lumps the Clippers are going through is all the normal stage of progression. LeBron went through it as well when he was coming up, you know, when he was losing final series. So yeah, man, just appreciate him for as long as he's here. And yesterday was a vintage performance. Like I said to you guys, I went back to watch that last 5 minutes about five times, man. Just when that jumper's dropping and that. Man,
it's annoying when you're watching it. You're thinking, I want this guy to fail so bad. When it starts,
You just turn off the TV before the ball even hits the basket, man.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your time today, guys.
No worries, man. Appreciate you guys.
Nice one, man.
Peace.